If your goal is income from dividends, then this is the video for you. In this video, I will present 3 high-yield stock picks with payout in March and give a valuation for each pick based on dividend yield theory. The first one is Walgreens Boots Alliance, stock ticker WBA, and if we jump into Seeking Alpha, you can see that they are currently trading at $36.32. Over the last year, they are down 21%. If we jump into our stock screener tool, punch in WBA, wait for everything to auto-populate, you can see the current price is indeed around 36. The PE non-GAAP forward ratio is 7.6, which is below the 5-year average of 9.6, so already looking a bit undervalued. Dividend yield is 5.2% and a very healthy payout ratio of 38% and an analyst target price of $41. Jumping into the dividend data tab here, and if we zoom in a bit, you can see that over the last years, the dividend growth rate has decreased quite a bit from around 10 to 7% here. It's gone down to 2, 1, and 0.2%. 5-year dividend growth rate is around 2.7%, and the 10-year dividend growth rate is around 5%. Obviously carried by some of the earlier years. As you can see from the trend lines here, they are decreasing quite a bit. So it is indeed a slow grower, and I wouldn't expect too high of an increase in the coming years either. Scrolling down to the dividend yield graphs, you can see here the 5-year dividend yield average seems to point towards being a very good bargain to be found. It appears to be quite undervalued currently, and the graph on the left here tells us that it could be potentially around 20%. The next one is Highwood Properties, stock ticker HIW, a real estate investment trust that operates properties in best business districts. Currently, they are trading around $28.17, and over the last year, they are down 35%. Jumping back to our stock screener, we go in here and punch in HIW. We then zoom out a little bit, just wait for everything to load in, and you can see here the current price indeed around $28. PE non-GAAP forward ratio isn't as important as price to adjusted funds from operations for REITs, and in that case, they're currently trading at 11.1. Comparing that to the 5-year average of 18.2, it could appear indeed there is a very good bargain to be found as well for Highwood Properties. Dividend yield is around 7%, and the payout ratio based on the adjusted funds from operation is 80%, and the analyst target price is $31. We then go back to our dividend data tab, where we zoom in a bit to see everything a bit better, and indeed also a very, very slow grower. With a dividend yield of 7%, you can't expect much else, I would say, because you can see here, dividend growth rate over the last couple of years has been 2.7, 1, 2, 2, and then 0. Zooming out a bit, you can see the 5-year and the 3-year growth rate is very comparable to the 10-year growth rate, around 1.5 to 1.6. If we then scroll down to the dividend yield graphs, you can see here that it appears to be quite undervalued at the current time. And also at the graph on the left here, you can say that is a discount of around 27%, at least according to the dividend yield theory. I hope so far you found the picks interesting. Please support by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. The last pick I have for you is 3M. Obviously, there is a lot of litigation issues still unsolved about 3M. But if we look currently, they are trading around $111.32. They are down roughly 24% over the last year. But let's jump back again into our stock screener to see whether or not there's any value to be found at the current time. So we punch in 3M in our stock screener, and indeed we find 3M company in industrials. Current price, as mentioned earlier, price to earnings ratio, forward non-GAAP ratio is around 12. Comparing that to the 5-year average of 18.3, it is indeed undervalued at the current time. The dividend yield is 5.3%, and a payout ratio of 58% is looking pretty healthy, I would say. Also, analyst target price of $122. Jumping into the dividend data tab and then zoom in a little bit to see everything better, you can see here that obviously, the dividend increases has been decreased the last couple of years. You can see here dividend growth rate of 0.6, 0.6, 0.6 for the last 3 years. And if we zoom out a bit, dividend growth rate from the last 10 years is around 9%, obviously carried by some of the older increases back in the day. You can see here we have 35% almost in 2014 and 20% in 2015. So obviously those carry into that. But if we look at the 5-year growth rate, we have around 2%. As you can see from the trend line here, they are decreasing, and I would expect this trend to at least be the same for the next couple of years. But if you scroll down to the dividend yield graph here, you can see indeed, as well as with hybrid properties, it indeed looks to be undervalued right now. And according to the graph on the left on the dividend yield, you can see it's around 28% at the current time. So that was 3 picks with payout in March. I hope you found them interesting. Thanks again for watching, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Bye.